Okay, so I have a page and a half things to talk about Glee, the last episode. So I thought I would just make, like, a Glee-centric video, because I tend to do that sometimes. I just have a lot of opinions, okay? Don't judge me. Okay, so, everyone had, like, built up this episode so much. Like, weeks ago, I was like, Asian F's gonna be, like, the best episode. It's gonna be, like, one of the best ones ever. And so I was, like, really, like, pumped. And I didn't think it was as good as, like, everyone built it up to be, or, like, as I was expecting it to be because of the hype. But, I mean, it was still good, but, like, as of the 3 episodes so far this season, I thought it was the least, like, good, if that's grammatically correct. So, I don't know, it was still good, but it wasn't, like, they built it up to be so much more than I thought it was. Okay, and, like, I guess that Mike is cool. I've just never, like, really cared to, like, learn his backstory. Like, I'm fine with him being a one-dimensional character for forever. Like, I don't really care about him. Or Tina. They're both not annoying. Tina's annoying, but, you know, they're just kind of, like, whatever. You know, it was cute to see him, like, dance with his mom and stuff, and, like, apparently he's super smart, which, whatever. So I guess it's cool to see, like, he has a life outside of just being, like, an awesome dancer, but I just didn't really care that much. And I'm pretty sure that I personally follow the Asian grading scale, the Asian grading scale. Like, not so much an A-, but, like, to me a B, or any, like, B+, that's an F to me. So I have my own, like, the SAM grading scale. But it's quite similar to the Asian grading scale, so that was funny. Okay, and so, like, Mike can sing now, because, how long has he been working on it? Because I'm pretty sure it takes longer than, like, a few weeks to go from, like, I can't sing at all to, hi, I'm kind of awesome. So, I mean, good for him, though. That was cool to see him, like, give that whole performance. And all the football players can dance, really. I know, there's a certain, you know, gotta give it a little artistic license or whatever. Yes, it's not entirely realistic, but just really, everyone. Okay. Okay, and I don't usually like the I'm singing in my mind scenes, where, like, that are very musically, I guess, like, hi, I'm singing, but no one knows I'm singing, those, but I really did like the one that was, like, a trial or something, that was on the stage with Mercedes against everyone else who was ganging up on her. I did like that one. I thought it was kind of cool, but that's one of those things where I didn't know the original song, so you could tell part of it they had, like, changed to fit the situation, but, like, I didn't know, like, which parts were, like, made up and which parts were, like, part of the actual song, so that's kind of, like, I think that's kind of hard to, like, tell sometimes. Okay, and Shu, he was being mean to Mercedes. You can't just, like, yell in her face and, like, be mean, because Mercedes is not a skinny girl. It is going to take her a little more to, like, do the same dance moves as Mike and Brittany, okay? So he was being a little mean. But Mercedes is not infallible in this, because she was being a bad word, okay? Okay, and so I have a huge paragraph rant about Mercedes right now. Mercedes is a good singer. Do not get me wrong, she's wonderful. But that does not excuse her behavior, because she's being, like, way too diva. Like, this is, like, the first time that I've actually not liked Mercedes. Like, when they had their diva off before, and, like, even always when she's, like, you know, been, like, you know, when she demanded puppies to, like, dry her hands on, like, that was still kind of funny, but this was the one time I've never not liked Mercedes before this episode, and I really didn't like her at all. Okay, even if you don't feel like you're being, like, fully appreciated, you still have to give 100%, because that is your club, that is your second family, that is your friends, like, you have to give 100% for the good of the group, even if you don't feel like you're being fully appreciated. And this is part of, like, my own high school experience coming out, because, like, there's always one person who gets every single part, who gets all of the solos, you know, there's always that one person, or those two people, like the guy and the girl, or whatever, there's always that person, okay? And even if they're not the best, you know, they always get it. But Rachel is the best. Let's be real about this, okay? Rachel is the best in their Glee club. So, but there is always that person, and you just have to deal with it, because am I wrong in saying that Mercedes is a junior? So if Mercedes is a junior and Rachel is a senior, Rachel is graduating, and so Mercedes could, in theory, you know, have all of the solos the next year. Like, you know, like, you have to be patient, and you have to, you know, just kind of go with the flow, because I've done some stressing over, you know, over show choir and over musicals, and at a certain point you just have to let it go, because you can't cast it yourself, and you just have to, you know, you have to do it. Okay, that was my moving personal experience in the bit. Okay, and then honestly, I've also experienced double casting. Double casting is not awesome, because then you're like, oh, I'm not good enough, you know, to get the part on my own. But it's a solid compromise, because at least you get to perform. At least you get to have, like, you know, at least you get to perform and show your stuff and everything. And even if you don't get to do it the whole time. Like, I was double cast 3 out of 4 years. And it kind of sucks, but at the same time, at least I got to do something. Like, I preferred 1 week of a part rather than no weeks of a part. So, Mercedes was just being ridiculous, and I didn't like anything about her attitude. Okay, sorry, this is getting long. I told you I had a lot of comments. Okay, and good for Kurt for supporting his man, even though he was kind of devastated that he didn't get the part. Because that was so sweet, where he, like, gave him the flowers, and then it was weird that he, like, he just patted him on the shoulder, which was weird. But then it was so sad at the end, where you could tell he was, like, heartbroken that he didn't get cast. But why'd they only show 5 roles? I feel like there's more speaking roles in that show than 5 roles. But, so I was sad that, like, Kurt didn't get anything and that he was sad, but how mature of him, and how awesome that he's supporting his boyfriend for getting a role when he didn't. Like, good for him. Okay, and then when we were going back to, like the first season, everyone was saying, oh, we're going back to the first season, how it was there. I didn't realize that we were gonna, like, regress Rachel to, like, hi, I'm selfish and don't care about anyone but myself. I'm not happy that she regressed in the last 15 minutes of the episode. She's taking a serious step back in, like, her character development by running against Kurt, who is essentially her best friend. Okay, and yes, she's just being really selfish, because especially she did get the role. You know, Kurt was running as, like, I didn't get a role in the, you know, I'm not getting a role in the show, I need an activity, kind of that. Rachel did get a lead in the role, or did get a lead in the show, so she does not have the same excuse that Kurt does to, like, you know, to run for president. She's not gonna win. Like, no one likes her. Okay, so, yeah. So that's selfish and huge regression in her character development. I'm not happy about that. Rachel was being so mature last week. Okay, and I'm glad that Santana's back, but they kind of, like, glossed that over. They were just like, she was just like, oh yeah, I'm loyal to the Glee Club again. Okay, I guess we'll believe you. Okay, and then Emma's parents were awful. Except I love the guy from Happy Days. And when they said they were ginger supremacists, I basically wanted to die laughing, because ginger supremacist. Okay, and I kind of feel like ginger is, like, not, like, as a ginger, I don't feel like you'd call yourself a ginger. But, so I thought that was pretty funny. Fix You was adorable. I love that song. Yeah, so that was really cute. And Will, he's nice to Emma. He's kind of a douche to the kids, but he's nice to Emma. And, you know, so hopefully he's getting better too. Okay, and this was, I thought maybe, I tend to see this everywhere. Like, I feel like I always think this is going to happen on shows. So then I thought, okay, it's just me. And then I was reading the Entertainment Weekly and the TV Line recaps, and they both mentioned it also. So if Mercedes is pregnant, I'm going to be pissed. Okay? Because she was like, I don't feel good. And the first time I was like, oh, you know, she's being whiny, or she's being lazy, or whatever. And then she kept saying that she didn't feel good, and then she's all, like, in love with this boyfriend or whatever. If she is pregnant, I'm gonna be so mad, because teen pregnancy is very realistic. I'm not being, like, especially in Ohio, it's not like a big, oh my gosh, two people in the same, you know, school. That's not the point. The point is, really, I will just be really mad. There's no point for her to be pregnant, okay? Not at all. So I'll be really mad if that happens, and I hope that was just a weird thing that they kind of were just, I don't know their reasoning, but since I'm not the only one who caught it, then I'm thinking that it's probably semi-true, and I'm not happy about it. Okay, but so, this is gonna cut me off, and I'm sorry, this is almost 10 minutes. How did that happen? Okay, but so I'll make a video later talking about other things, but thank you for watching, and I'm sorry this is long, and enjoy the rest of your week.